So, bit of an incident today in the prison. Something's happening. There's some security incidents, so they're not letting anybody into the prison. I've been able to see Mr. Duterte today to talk about the confirmation decision. However, I did pick up the phone and I spoke to him, and I informed him of the decision. And as I said yesterday, he's stoical. We didn't build up his hopes either about this decision or about the jurisdiction decision yesterday. He did ask me, what's the evidence? As I said at the confirmation hearing, what's the evidence to show that I actually committed these murders which they say I committed? And I said to him, you know what, Mr. Duterte, let me have a look. So I had a look through this decision, and I can't even see one piece of evidence cited in the footnotes. We argued for at least 2.5 days. We went into details about the evidence. We said why each one of those incidents should not be confirmed. But the pre-trial chamber judges haven't even cited one piece of evidence in their footnotes to justify their decision. I look at paragraph 33 of his decision, which we've given him a copy. We've left it there for him. And I look at paragraph 33. It says, while noting the suspect's right to be informed of detail of the nature, cause and content of any charge brought against him, it is critical that the charges do not contain unnecessary details that could be too specific and limiting at trial. Too specific and limiting for whom exactly? What is this? Is this Kafka? The whole purpose of a confirmation hearing is to determine the exact nature of the charges so that the suspect knows what he has to defend at trial. There we go on, paragraph 34. The chamber considers it appropriate to adopt a flexible approach in respect to the details of the charges brought against Mr. Duterte, such as timing, location, and names of victims and some of the charged incidents listed in the DCC. My goodness, what are we facing at trial? Well, anyway, that's the decision. We go to trial now. We will make a request for an appeal. It's up to the same judges to decide whether or not we get that appeal. But we have to be realistic, and we're facing a trial now.
So what will be the next step for your legal team? You gave some suggestions, idea. What do we do?
Well, as I said, this case is built on the testimony of cooperating criminal witnesses of the most vicious nature, and we will be preparing our cross-examination of those witnesses. They will come to give their evidence if the prosecution can manage to find them and bring them, and then we will, as I said, question them and show them to be the liars that they are.
Do you need any assistance with the Philippine government?
The Philippine government, headed by President Bongbong Marcos, is not going to help us in any way whatsoever. It's been helping the prosecution right from before the time that the former president was surrendered to the court, but it's not going to help Mr. Duterte. Thank you.
Attorney Nick, what was the initial reaction right now that you have elaborated in what you have just said, the reasons of the pre-trial chamber with respect to confirming all of those 3 counts of crimes against humanity?
Well, as I said, I find it rather bizarre and strange that, having argued the intricate details of the evidence to try and show that there weren't substantial grounds to support these charges, that the chamber didn't find it necessary to cite any evidence.
Attorney, if there are going to be petitions outside of the case of the former president, such coming from NGOs, which will be submitted to the United Nations Human Rights Council, will that in any way affect the case?
I think I answered that yesterday. I mean, all of these petitions are very welcome. But in the past, there have been petitions made to the Working Group on Arbitrary Detention and all sorts of bodies at the United Nations, which haven't really promoted the case at the ICC, if I can put it that way. Obviously, they have extreme moral support value. But as far as affecting the decisions of the judges of this court, unfortunately, that's not the case.
Thank you, Attorney Nicholas Kauffman. On behalf of the Filipino, we wanted to let you know that we are still going to support the former president, the defense team, until the very end.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Attorney.